Hello, Claudius. Thank you so much for booking the tour. I'm now waking up. It's about 4:20, 4:25. Getting ready to go to Angkor Wat and film all of the full tour of Angkor Wat for you. So I'm so excited to share you this. I can't remember last time whether you did a full tour of sunrise or not, but this would be nice because the temple is already quiet, not so many people there, so you get to see it in a very nice mood. And yeah, let's show you there. Okay, I'll go and set it up and tour you around. See you there. Bye. So it's still quiet because it's quite early. It's about 4:45 right now. I'm very close by to the temple, so yeah, not so many tourists, as you know, because of the COVID-19. That's why not so many people come in early for the sunrise. All right, I'll see you inside. So here we are in front of the man-made moat surrounding Angkor Wat temple. As you can see, the water um, is actually going around the whole temple. So the temple is actually inside and in the middle of this man-made moat. And the size of this moat from one end to another end is 1.5 kilometers by 1.3 kilometers. Over there is the gate of the temple. Let me just zoom in for you so you can see. So this is the bridge that people walk from one end, from entrance to the temple gate, and that is the gate to get into the main temple of Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat was actually very special and one of the mega structure, and of course one of the largest building and religious in the world. This temple was actually built to dedicate to God Vishnu, and that is the reason why the temple is situated in the man-made moat, because in the Hindu belief the moat is represented as the ocean and the temple is represented as the home of God, because the God is living in the middle of the ocean. So this is like a replica of one universe of the Hinduism. Now, since Hinduism was impacted and was the religion of Cambodian people for so long, they started actually from the 2nd century up until 12th century, when one of the Cambodian king decided to convert the religion from Hinduism to Buddhism. So now 95% of the local populations here in Cambodia are Buddhist, even though the temple was actually built for Vishnu, which is a temple main god, and which is the Hindu god. People still go inside the temple and pray to Vishnu god, which means that Cambodian people are still in a mix of the religion till this day. I'll see you inside and I will show you more. Take a look at the moat around here. It's beautiful. Unfortunately today there is no sunrise. It's quite cloudy. We are in the middle of rainy season, so right here you see one of the eastern gate to get into Angkor Wat as well. I film from both sides so you get an idea of how you can access to the temple. The temple can only get access inside for 2 gates, which is the west gate, the one that I filmed earlier with the moat surrounding, and this is the east gate. So the moat also going around this area as well. As you can see that this is the moat area, and it's just going around the whole thing. So this one is the east gate of the temple, and the conditions of the gate is very bad maintenance, so they have to break the wall right there so that you can get into the temple. Here's the main entrance to get into the temple from the east side of Angkor Wat. Maybe you have done last time walking inside by the west gate, but this actually gives you a sense of exploration, a sense of magic, because it's surrounded with a lot of big trees and it looked like the temple is hidden inside that jungle right there. So that is the main temple tower, which is the central one, and it looked like it's hidden in the jungle. So you know, the history of Angkor Wat was rediscovered by the French guy named Henry Mahout. He was a French explorer who actually traveled a long way from Europe to find this hidden gem of Southeast Asian temple. And by the time when he was here, it was in 1860. So Angkor was covered with all of the forest, because during the 15th century, one of our king decided to abandon this whole capital city. Not only Angkor Wat, but all area of Angkor, because the invade from the Thai, or by the time it was called Siam or Sim. So there was a lot of fight in the country, and the king decided to move, because not only the fight, but also there was a time with a very dry out. So people cannot do agriculture. The king decisions have to move down to close by the capital city of Phnom Penh, and it was called Udon during the 15th century. So back then, from the 15th century to 1860, Angkor and the whole city have no one living around here. That is the reason why most of the temple were rooted with vegetation, big trees, and even large group of wild animals, and nobody can get in there. So by the time when the French came over and he did the explorations and all of the excavations and all that, Angkor was again shining up and show the world from then on, up until we have the war of the country from 1970 to 1979. That was the time when again Angkor had no one visited, and it was again started to root it. All of the trees started to grow all over again. And then after the war from 1979, Cambodia was still in trouble for a while until 1993. So 1993 is a time when we call our country a new Cambodia, or baby-born Cambodia, which is started. And then everybody started to talk about Angkor, and people started to come over, but not as much up until 2005, I think, 2006, because of the social media, the photo posted, and the internet. So people started to come over. So last 2 years, we received 4.6 million visitors a year visiting Cambodia. And because of COVID right now, it's quite empty, as you can see. From where I am right now, without the COVID-19, there'd be a lot of people walking around here. But look, it's only a few people and me walking into the temple. And today is Saturday, so it's a weekend. So it's supposed to be more people, but none of that. Angkor Wat is by far the most amazing building, in the world, because Angkor was actually took only 37 years to build. If you look at any histories of any building in the world, like for example cathedral in Europe, they could have taken 500 years to build. This mega structure was actually something unbelievable. It's hard to imagine how they could actually build this temple for just 37 years. A lot of people came over and they look at the mansion, they look at the building, and they thought, no human built this. It could be God, it could be alien. All right, let's go inside and check it out. Okay, so we give you an idea of how big the tree is. I'm gonna go and hug the tree. If three of me or four of me hug the tree, it could be 400 years. Let's go and see it. It's so big. It's like this huge.
Yes, let's take a photo with Gabi.
It's so quiet and peaceful in the morning. So beautiful too. Okay, so now we are right in front of the main building. As you can see from this view, you probably have counted that there are only 3 towers, but in fact, the other 2 towers is at the back side. So basically, Angkor Wat has a total of 5 towers. Originally, we used to have another 4 towers, which is one from that side. That's another tower. Another one, which is now under the scaffolding, and then another 2 at the other corner from the back side. So originally there were 9 of them, and 9 are odd number in Hindu belief, and it could be like a 9th world of gods. That's probably the symbolic symbol of the tower. And Angkor Wat was still a mystery to so many people, because a lot of people also confused that the temple was actually built for God. But most of the temple that built for God are facing to the east side. Instead, this temple was actually facing to the west side. West is the main entrance to get into the temple. So a lot of scholars also believe that the temple could have been built as a mausoleum of the king, as a tomb of the king. And BBC also make a documentary about it, and they also believe that in the main central tower right there, deep down, it could be a place where they have buried the king inside this Angkor Wat. So Angkor Wat today is still a mystery, and nobody can find out yet what is the purpose of being this so large temple and one of the most powerful and biggest religious building in the world. It's still a mystery for a lot of people. But what amazed a lot of people is that the design and also the carving, the beauty, layout, and the size of the temple. It's just so amazing. And the time periods when they built the temple, which is started from 1113 to 1150, for just 37 years, to think of building this mega structure with all of these sandstone, heavy sandstone, and thinking of back then without crane or machines, and they were using only like labor work people, from also from animals like elephants and buffalo to pull all this rock up. It's just hard to believe it took only 37 years to build. Let's go and find out inside. So here are the Apsara, or in Cambodia we say Apsor. Apsor means deity. Apsara used to be the performer, the dancer, the deity dancer. They were dancer for God, but later on they would choose to be the dancer for the royal family. And now you can also see the dance at some area in the city center as well, like a performance dancing. So you can see the four of them standing right here. They were carved on the wall of the temple of Angkor Wat, but in fact we found over 1,800 of them carved on the wall of the temple. And what is very interesting is that most of them having different characteristics. Even they found 36 different hairstyles. Some of them got ponytails, some of them got dreadlocks, some of them got curly hair, with a lot of different decorations on them as well. That is very interesting about this temple. So you can see some more on the wall right here. You can see some more from there. You can see that as well. Yeah, so many of these Apsara dancer around the temple. I'll show you more inside. All right, so here people are doing some work, cutting grass around the area of the temple. A few days ago I came here and then there was a big bush around the area. And I thought like nobody work on that. Today I came and I see these people are working now, cutting grass, which is very good. You can see that it's very green after a few rains over here. And this is one of the corner of the temple. That is the main temple right there. Look at that, how beautiful, the green and the gray and the sky putting things together. It's pretty cool, right? So in front of you is one of the library. Well, they call them a library, but in fact it doesn't seem like it's a place to keep books or any documentary. But this library is served as more like a shrine, where back in the day it used to be also like a statues in the middle of that building right there, so people can go up there and pray. And because Angkor was actually served as the home of God, so most of the decorations around it must have a shrine, because there was a strong belief in the Hindu that the king would actually go and do some ceremony and some kind of praying into the temple area too. Yeah, so I'm gonna pan down a little bit. This is one of the other corner, and you can also see that is the tower right there. I want you to look at how steep the stairway to just go up from one small building to the top. And that's how steep the stairway is. I mean, this is like the lowest part of it. There is the temple inside. Later on you're going to see how steep the stairway is, but this one is just one small example. So the idea of building this stairway steep is to make you actually bow your head when you crawl up, so that you respect to the main statue of God up in the building right there. So this is like a stairway to heaven. That is the reason why they build it like that. So I'm just gonna go up and then show you the view. Let's go. I'm just gonna walk up so that you get to see how hard it is. I have to crawl and bow my head to the top, and the stairway is so narrow. Like you can see the side of my hand, of my feet here. Look, yeah, it's very difficult. All right, I'm not gonna cut this. I'm just gonna show you the whole thing. And yeah, so this is the main building, as you can see, right? I'm gonna pan around. Look at that, beautiful, very green. And again, you see Apsara, the lady dancer, on the wall of the temple. Here we go. Very beautiful, right? I'm gonna give you this wide angle watch from the side. This is one of the other corner. Look at the stairway right there too, right? And the tower of Angkor Wat. Look at how green it is. This is the best place in the morning after sunrise, just to sit here with a hot of coffee and enjoy the moment. That's one of the best places. Yep. And usually without that machine, the cutting machine, it'd be very quiet and very peaceful too. So Angkor Wat is probably one of the reasons why a lot of people come here to this city, Siem Reap, Cambodia. I think without the temple, this uh, city might not be exist. And a lot of people are working related to tourism because of this as well. Now, because of the COVID-19, I think 90% of the whole population is affected with the business, and right now is a very difficult time for all of us. And this this is probably the worst time that we experience, not only Cambodia but for the whole world. But I guess the mother nature need time to relieve herself and yeah, to heal, I would say. All right, let's go and see what's inside that main tower right there. Let's go. All right, so here I'm still at the library building, but I want to point out to you that this is like a window column. Now, the significance of the window columns is that sometimes you see 5 of them, sometimes you see 7, sometimes you see 3. And again, I was talking about odd numbers in Hindu belief. Odd numbers are lucky number. But when it's appeared with the 7 column, it actually represents the 7th day of the week. Now, this column is very special. You know, when the sun shining on this column, and on the wall next to the column, it would appear with a shape and shadow, and that shadow become the temple of Angkor Wat. So the king was actually thinking to build this temple with every inches of details everywhere, and that's how amazing the temple is. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna attach the photos of the column when the sun shining in and appears to be the shape of Angkor Wat temple as well. Okay, so we're now in a different sections of Angkor, which in this the room like a gallery. They have placed one of the big Buddha inside. I will just zoom in so that you can see the color of the Buddha. That is the dress of the Buddha. I will walk inside and show you the big Buddha. This is where local people come in and do the offering. You know, like offering flowers or fruit or food, it doesn't matter. In our Cambodian belief, every time we come to the Buddha, we would buy offering. It could be flower, it could be food, it could be fruit, it could be anything. And then we pray for whatever we want to pray. And this is still remain one of the big believing in our Cambodian society. So every time when people come into the temple of Angkor Wat, they always bring some offering to offer to the God inside. Let's go and check it out. So here we are at the front area of the big Buddha that I was just filming earlier behind him, and this is the front big Buddha side. This is the big Buddha right here. And we also see monk sitting here, where most of the time he will give also blessing to the people who come and do the offering. So he will give the blessing, and he will also hand you this red bandit on your wrist as well. Yeah, that's how it works over here. So this is actually the place where people come and pray. All right, so now we are on the second level of Angkor Wat, and what in front of you is the original. It used to be a pool where they keep all the water into this pool, and then there was a ceremony that the king will actually go down to the pool and give himself a blessing. So we have 4 of these pools, one right here, one at the other side, and 2 at the other side right there. So these pool purposes back in the past is the place where they come to do all of the ritual blessing and the ritual water blessing. Now they drain the water outside of this original pool. Now it's dry. But when we have so much rain and we want to keep it, there's a plug we can just plug the drainage, and then we can keep the water. That is the plugs right there. That is the drainage that the water ran out right there. Yeah. And I was talking about the Apsara. Remember the lady dancer? They are on the wall of the temple. They're everywhere. Look at this. I'm going to show you. Different hairstyle, beautiful decorations as well. And as you can see that it's run from the top to the ground. All of these tiny little carving right here. It's very impressive. I'm just going to go a little bit more so that you can see. This become very shiny because people come here and they, you know, wrap the body and touch them, so they get very shiny. Not painting color, but it shine because people touch them. Look at the details of that Apsara right there. You got all here as well. Like I said, there are over 1,800 of them, 36 different hairstyles everywhere. So this is the main walkway to get to the third level of Angkor Wat temple right there. People walk up by the stairway and then they will reach to the third level of the temple. Now we are standing in the second level of the temple. This is another pool. Remember I talked about the pool earlier? This is another one. And there's another one from the other side as well. We have also Apsara on the wall. Lots of them. Yeah. Look at these Apsara right here too. Right? Look at the details. Look at how beautiful the details. Now this two Apsara has the crown. She has earrings. She has necklace. And she's carrying flowers on her hand right here. And this is her sarong or her dress. And look at the tiny little carving. Yep, everywhere is so detailing. Here we are, yeah. Just gonna pan it around so you see. And if you come over here, that is the entrance way to get out from the temple. Right there. Yeah. Now we will move around a little bit. We come to the same spot I told you earlier. This is the main gateway to get to the top, to the temple. Right there. So in this section right here, you get to see some color. It was actually painted by the monk who used to live in this temple. You know, after the abandonment of the temple, and for hundreds of years, nobody lived here. But before the war started, the monk used to live around here. And they also painted some of this temple. Some area you can see the color is red, and you can even see some writing from the monk language right here too. Look at all this writing from the monk. Yeah. That is another pool. We were talking about the pool. This is another one, and then the other one from the other side right there. Yeah. All right, so now we are on the third level of the temple, where you can see that is the stairway to the heaven right there. Yeah, people doing some work on that. And that used to be the stairway when people walk up to the top of the temple. Another Apsara on the wall outside on the third level of the temple. Now we will pan around. Wait and see. Ignore those still is a scaffolding things. They're now repairing it. But if I turn around here take a look at how large the temple is. This is one section of the main tower. One section of the main tower in the middle of the temple. If I zoom out a little bit, you get to see how large the area is. Yeah, unfortunately the weather is not that good today. Usually it's shiny and clear, but today is very cloudy and not so good. But at least it's give the place not too hot. You know, usually it's very hot because of these kind of stone reflected with the sun heats, and right now it's warmer, so it's good. You look at the stairway to go up to the top tower right there. The green color is the green moss after raining season, and it could be very slippery. So right now they have to put the fence in front of this stairway to stop tourists and people from going up. But they do have another wooden stairway where you can go to the top of that building right there. So people come over, and then the monk also come up to the temple here for some special ritual. As you can see, they bring flowers and fruit and others offering as well. Okay, so now I am on the top level of the temple. As you can see the view, that road right there is where I was walking in earlier. Yeah, and now we are on the top of the third level of the temple right here. You can see a very beautiful view from the third level of the temple, except that black scaffolding right there, which is now they're working on to reconstruct some of the broken pieces area. Very beautiful. If I pan it a little bit around, let's see right here too. Yeah, and going around this area, you can see the people coming up from that stairway right there. Yeah, you can see the Apsara again. Beautiful Apsara. So this is the view, and where we are looking at is the west direction, and that is the main building. If I zoom in a little bit, is the main gate. We zoom in earlier. That's the main gate right there. Here we go. You can also see the balloon as well. So that's the main entrance to get from the west gate into the temple. We zoom in back a little bit. Yeah. And you see the stairway. Beautiful, right? Yeah, main west entrance. So you come inside from the west entrance, you walk along that stone bridge, and it's come parallel a long way up to the second level, up to the third level, up to where I'm standing right here. This is how far from the entrance to the main tower here is about 750 meters. 750 meters from that gate right there to here. Here is one of what we call Naga Buddha. As you can see that the Buddha is sitting cross-leg meditations underneath this, what we call seven-headed Naga, and Naga is a snake. So the statues are still here, and the people would sometimes come and do some offerings and praying as well around this area. This is called Naga Buddha, or seven-headed Naga Buddha. This is the walkway on the third level of the temple, and you pan around, you got to see again the view of the temple right there. Yeah, and this is a column. We were talking about this column earlier. Remember the shape and the size? Here we only see 4 because 3 are missing actually. 7, supposedly 1 here, 2 here, so 7 of them. Oh, here we have the 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. Yep. And here's the central tower, yeah, of the temple, central tower. And if I zoom in a little bit, you get to see also Apsara on the wall of that again. Remember the Apsara dancing? It's right there. And from this view, we also see this red-roofed building. This is the local monastery where now monks are living around there. Before that, the monk used to live very close by to the temple, and it was a big mess because temple become one of the heritage sites and tourists come over. Then the monk living around, which is not very appropriate, so they build that monastery right there where the monks now are living. And if I zoom out right here, this is where I'm standing. So still they are living very close by, but at least they are a little bit away from the temple area. Yeah, that's the whole view of the place. And again, Apsara. Everywhere you walk in, you see Apsara, lady dancer. All right, Claudita, I am very happy to show you around, and now I'm on the third level. I think I'm gonna finish off here. I hope I give you a lot of information about the place. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me anytime. And I hope you and your nephew or your niece love to watch the video I did for you. Full tour of Angkor Wat, and it was fun sharing this information with you. And thank you so much for picking this arrangement, because you know, the support is amazing, because I have no job literally for about six months now. So your support is really helpful, and thank you so much for doing this for me. All right, stay safe. Hopefully to see you. If you have a chance to come back to Cambodia, of course, see you, and you can share this full tour of Angkor Wat to your friends and let them know I'm doing online tours as well for the city, hidden gem city tour, because the connections in the city is way better than the temple area. But I can always include it, there's the files of video of the temple, and they can also pick any temple they want me to do the film for them, so I will do that. Thank you so much, and peace. Bye for now.